Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! As the lock clicked, shadows welcomed the revelation back into its embrace. A figure stood before the hallway mirror, where a doppelganger revealed secrets through silence. 2 lives, 1 mirror. A finely crafted, clandestine existence, now under scrutiny. Floorboards creaked with each hesitant stride across the room, the cold breeze from the open door whispering its dissent. Seconds became minutes, minutes marked by indecision.
Is confirmed for October 12th, 2 p.m.
The words glowed, almost taunting, yet the cursor couldn't bring itself to execute the delete command. Not just yet. No turning back now.
You can do this,
came the whispered affirmation to the empty room.
It's time.
At 35, Jackson Reynolds had carved out a predictable existence. Software developer by day, weekend hobbyist, reliable friend, but always incomplete. Always performing half a life while the other half remained locked away. A collection of makeup palettes, wigs, and dresses that only witnessed bedroom walls. The small calendar on the kitchen wall marked the approaching date with a simple star. 7 days until the appointment. 7 days to prepare for Emiliana's first steps into the world. The preparation began methodically. A new shipment arrived. A stunning red evening gown ordered weeks earlier from a boutique that never asked questions. The sweetheart neckline would frame collarbones perfectly, while crystal embellishments caught light with every movement. The gown hung on the bedroom door like a sentinel, a vibrant splash of crimson against white paint. Each evening after work brought new rituals of practice, walking in heels until blisters formed and healed, perfecting makeup techniques learned from countless online tutorials, voice exercises that stretched vocal cords into new territories. On the 5th night, the phone buzzed with a text from Maria, the photographer. "Looking forward to our session. Any questions before the big day?" Fingers hovered over the screen before typing. "Still nervous, but excited. Thank you for being so understanding." The reply came quickly. "Everyone deserves to see themselves as they truly are. No nerves needed. We'll create something beautiful." The night before the shoot brought little sleep. Doubts circled like hungry wolves. What if the photos revealed an imposter rather than Emiliana? What if Maria, despite her professional emails, reacted poorly in person? Morning arrived with weak sunlight filtering through blinds. Hours ticked by with excruciating slowness. A light breakfast, a long shower, the careful rituals of transformation. Brown hair that had grown just past the shoulders received meticulous attention, each strand conditioned and prepared for the styling to come. The wig, premium human hair in matching brown, was brushed until it shone, loose curls cascading over shoulders in subtle waves. Foundation applied with patient strokes, contour powder sculpted cheekbones into existence. Eyeliner drawn with precision born of years of practice. Lipstick in a shade that complemented the dress without competing. Each step of makeup application was a meditation, a communion between 2 realities, merging into one. The red gown slipped over carefully prepared skin, fabric whispering promises of acceptance. In the full-length mirror, Emiliana emerged complete. No longer fragments hidden in closets, but a whole person gazing back with cautious hope. The drive to the studio passed in a blur of anxiety and determination. Parking proved challenging in heels, but the studio was mercifully empty of other clients. A small bell announced entry into the converted warehouse space. "Hello?" The voice emerged higher than intended, nerves constricting the practiced tone. Maria appeared from behind a partition, camera already in hand. Short, with curly black hair and glasses, she radiated the calm confidence of someone who had seen it all and judged none of it. "Emiliana, welcome!" Her smile contained no hesitation, no double take, just professional warmth. "That dress is absolutely stunning on you. The red photographs beautifully." Relief flooded through tense muscles. "Thank you for doing this. It means more than you know." Maria gestured toward the studio space where various backdrops and props waited. "This is your session. I'm just here to capture whoever you want to show the world today." The vintage chaise lounge, burgundy velvet against cream backdrops, became the centerpiece for the session. Maria worked with gentle direction, suggesting small adjustments without ever making Emiliana feel awkward or unpracticed. "Turn slightly toward the window light. Let's capture how those crystals catch the sunbeams." The camera clicked rhythmically as Emiliana gradually relaxed, allowing her body to move more naturally, each pose flowing into the next. "Wonderful! Now, chin slightly down. Perfect. The way your hair frames your face there is gorgeous." 2 hours passed in what felt like minutes. The final poses on the chaise lounge involved a simple pearl necklace Maria produced from a velvet box. "Sometimes the simplest accessories make the strongest statement," she explained, helping to fasten it behind the cascade of brown curls. When the session concluded, Maria scrolled through the camera's display, showing some of the unedited images. "I'll need about 2 weeks for full editing, but I wanted you to see a few now. You're a natural in front of the camera." The images on the small screen were startling, not because they looked wrong, but because they looked so right. There was Emiliana, exactly as imagined for so many years, captured in perfect detail. The red dress hugging curves in all the right places, the carefully styled brown hair falling in soft waves, the gentle smile that had grown increasingly confident throughout the shoot. "They're perfect," came the whispered response, emotion thickening each word. "I'll send you the full gallery when it's ready," Maria said, setting down her camera. "But I have to ask, would you consider modeling again? You have a wonderful presence that translates beautifully through the lens." The question landed like an unexpected gift. "You'd want to photograph me again?" "Absolutely. I work with several clothing designers who would love your look for their catalogs." The possibility had never entered consideration that Emiliana could not only exist outside the apartment walls, but might even be sought after, valued for her appearance rather than merely tolerated. "I'd need to think about it," came the response, though excitement bubbled beneath cautious words. "Of course, no pressure." Maria handed over a business card. "When you're ready for those next steps, just call." The drive home felt different, lighter somehow, as though a weight had shifted. The apartment, once a sanctuary of secrecy, now seemed smaller than before, less like protection and more like limitation. Removing the elegant red gown required care to preserve the crystals and fabric, each movement deliberate. The makeup remained, as did the wig, even as the evening stretched toward midnight. Emiliana wasn't ready to disappear yet, not after stepping so fully into the world. The email arrived faster than expected. Just 3 days later, the notification appeared. "Your gallery is ready. 86 images from your session with Maria Vasquez Photography." The photos exceeded all expectations. Maria had captured something extraordinary, angles that flattered, lighting that enhanced, and most importantly, authentic moments that revealed genuine joy. In some photos, Emiliana looked thoughtful and elegant. In others, caught mid-laugh with head thrown back, radiating happiness without restraint. One image stood out from the collection, seated on the chaise lounge, brown hair cascading over one shoulder, the red dress contrasting beautifully against the burgundy velvet. The expression wasn't posed but captured between directions, a look of peaceful self-recognition, of coming home. That photo needed to exist outside a computer screen. A quick order placed it into production, an 8x10 professional print with simple black frame. A permanent reminder of first steps taken. When the framed photo arrived a week later, hanging it required commitment. This wasn't something to hide away when company visited. This was declaration, testimony, truth. The hammer struck the nail with purpose, and the frame found its place on the bedroom wall, visible immediately upon entering the room. The photo changed everything. Each morning, it offered silent encouragement. Each evening, it posed quiet questions about next steps and possibilities. The locked chest beneath floorboards gradually emptied as its contents migrated to the closet, then to dresser drawers. Shoes lined up beside work boots. Makeup found permanent residence on the bathroom counter. 2 weeks after the photo session, Maria called with unexpected news. Remember that designer I mentioned? Valencia is launching a new evening wear collection and needs models. I showed her your photos, and she's very interested. The shoot pays $800 for a day's work. Are you interested? The response required no thought. Yes, absolutely yes. Perfect. I'll send details. The shoot is next Saturday at Valencia's downtown studio. This wasn't just stepping out. This was stepping up. Professional work as Emiliana. The prospect terrified and thrilled in equal measure. Preparation for the modeling job demanded new levels of commitment. Hair appointments became necessary. The wig, while beautiful, wouldn't suffice for professional work. Growing out natural hair became the goal, but that would take time. Meanwhile, a professional styling of the current brown wig ensured it matched the designer's requirements. The modeling shoot introduced Emiliana to a world where diversity was celebrated rather than merely accepted. The other models, tall, short, curvy, slim, welcomed her without question. Valencia, the designer, spent extra time explaining the vision behind each gown, treating Emiliana like a valued collaborator rather than simply a body to display clothes. The emerald gown is perfect with your coloring, Valencia noted, adjusting a strap. The way it contrasts with your brown hair creates exactly the drama I want for the collection. The day passed in a flurry of outfit changes, makeup adjustments, and bright lights. When the check arrived at the end, it represented more than payment. It acknowledged professional worth, skill, legitimacy. Maria approached as the shoot concluded. How did it feel? Incredible. Scary. Right. The words tumbled out between relieved laughter. I never imagined this was possible. This is just the beginning, Maria replied. Valencia was impressed. She wants you for her spring campaign too, but that's months away. I have other clients who would book you tomorrow if you're interested. The question hung between them. Was this a one-time experience or the start of something more permanent? I need to figure some things out first. The answer felt incomplete, even as it left lips carefully painted nude pink to match the final outfit of the day. Take your time. This journey is yours to pace. That evening, alone in the apartment, decisions clarified into certainty. The framed photo on the bedroom wall wasn't just documentation of a moment. It was a doorway to a future. The coming weeks would require courage, conversations, and changes. But for the first time, the path forward lay clearly illuminated. The first difficult conversation happened over coffee with Sam, a friend since college days and colleague at the software company. I need to tell you something important, began the explanation across steaming mugs at a quiet corner table. Sam listened without interruption as years of hidden truth emerged into daylight. When the words finally stopped, his response was simple. Thank you for trusting me. What can I do to support you? The relief nearly triggered tears. Just keep being my friend. There's a lot changing, and I could use someone steady through it all. That's easy enough, Sam replied, reaching across to squeeze a hand briefly.
So, should I be calling you Emiliana now?
Yes, I think it's time. Sam nodded.
Emiliana it is then. Suits you better anyway.
Not every conversation went as smoothly. Parents responded with confusion, thinly veiling disappointment. A sister needed time to process before calling back with cautious questions about preferred pronouns and new names. Some friends disappeared with mumbled excuses about busy schedules. Others stepped forward with unexpected support. Work presented the most complex challenge. Software development remained a passion and financial necessity, but continuing at the current company as Emiliana required formal discussions with human resources and management. The company had policies about inclusion, but policies on paper didn't always translate to lived experience. The HR meeting was scheduled for a Tuesday morning. Emiliana arrived in a conservative navy blue dress with modest heels, brown hair pulled back into a simple ponytail. Professional, appropriate, and unmistakably feminine. Linda, the HR director, maintained neutral professionalism throughout the conversation, taking notes and occasionally consulting a policy manual. When the explanation concluded, her response was refreshingly straightforward. We'll need to update your records with your preferred name. The legal name change documentation can come later when you've completed that process. We'll inform your immediate team and department head, and I'll personally speak with them about appropriate workplace conduct. Is there anything else you need from us to make this transition smooth?
Just patience,
Emiliana replied. This is new territory for me too. Of course. And Emiliana? Thank you for trusting us with this. It takes courage. The first day back at work, as Emiliana rather than Jackson, brought nervous stomach flutters and a carefully chosen outfit, black pants with a cream blouse, minimal jewelry, and subtle makeup. Professional and understated, but authentically feminine. Curious glances followed her progress to the desk, but direct confrontations never materialized. By lunchtime, the initial awkwardness had largely dissipated as work routines reasserted themselves. Code didn't care about gender. Debugging demanded the same skills regardless of appearance. Sam made a point of loudly using she and her in meetings when referencing Emiliana's work, establishing a pattern that others quickly adopted. A few colleagues asked respectful questions during coffee breaks, but most simply adjusted to the change with minimal fuss. 1 month into this new chapter, Maria called with another opportunity. A major department store was launching an inclusive fashion campaign and wanted diverse models, including transgender representation. It's a bigger production than anything you've done before, Maria explained. National distribution, billboards, the works. The pay is excellent, and it would be a powerful statement about visibility. Are you interested? The old fears whispered briefly. Too public, too exposed, too vulnerable. But the woman in the framed photo on the bedroom wall smiled back with quiet confidence. Yes, I'm interested. Send me the details. The photo shoot for the campaign took place in a sprawling studio with multiple sets constructed to showcase different departments of the store. Emiliana's segments focused on evening wear and business attire, strengths she had developed through previous modeling work. The photographer, different from Maria but equally professional, worked efficiently with minimal direction. The natural laugh is perfect. Keep that energy. Now turn slightly toward the light. Beautiful. During a break between setups, another model approached. Tall, With stunning features and expertly applied makeup, she introduced herself as Vanessa. "First major campaign?" she asked, offering a bottle of water. "Is it that obvious?" Emiliana laughed, accepting the drink gratefully. "Only because I remember my first big shoot, total deer in headlights." Vanessa smiled warmly. "You're doing great, though. Very natural in front of the camera." "Thanks. It's all still new to me." "How long have you been transitioning?" Vanessa asked directly but kindly. "If that's not too personal." The question startled with its accuracy. "How did you know?" "Takes one to know one, honey." Vanessa winked. 5 years post-transition myself. I recognized something in your eyes, that mix of excitement and terror. We all have it at some point. The relief of recognition opened floodgates. For the remainder of the break, they exchanged stories, resources, doctor recommendations, and phone numbers. By the time the photographer called them back to set, Emiliana had found not just a colleague, but a mentor. "Call me any time," Vanessa insisted as they parted ways at day's end. "This industry can be tough, and our community needs to stick together." The campaign launched 3 months later. Walking past the first billboard downtown, her own face smiling down from a 20-foot display, produced a surreal mixture of pride and vulnerability. The text beside the image read simply, "Style is for everyone." Emails and messages arrived from unexpected sources. Former high school classmates reaching out with surprised congratulations, distant relatives seeing the ads in magazines and connecting dots about family whispers. Most touching were messages from strangers, young people seeing representation that spoke to their own hidden truths, older individuals expressing wistful support for journeys they never felt free to begin. The increased visibility accelerated other aspects of transition. Legal name changes processed through courthouses, updated identification documents with new photos and correct gender markers, medical consultations about options for more permanent physical changes. Through it all, the brown hair remained a constant, growing out naturally now, requiring only occasional salon visits to maintain the loose curls that had become Emiliana's signature look. The wigs remained as emergency backups, but were rarely needed, as natural hair flourished under proper care. 1 year after the first photo session with Maria, Emiliana hosted a small gathering in her apartment, newly decorated to reflect her authentic aesthetic. Sam came with his fiancée. Vanessa arrived with another model friend. Maria brought her partner and a portfolio of their latest collaboration, a fine art series exploring identity and transformation. The framed photo still held pride of place on the bedroom wall, though it now formed the centerpiece of a gallery of images chronicling the journey. Magazine tear sheets, campaign photos, behind-the-scenes snapshots from various shoots. "Remember how nervous you were that first day?" Maria asked, glass of wine in hand, as they examined the original photo together.
"Look at you now."
The transformation went beyond appearance. Confidence had replaced hesitation. Purpose had overwritten doubt. The red dress from that first session hung preserved in the closet, a cherished artifact, but no longer needed for validation. "I wouldn't have made it this far without that first step," Emiliana replied. "Without you making it safe to try." "You always had it in you," Maria countered.
"I just provided the lighting."
Later, as guests departed with warm hugs and promises to reconnect soon, Emiliana stood alone in the quiet apartment. The journey wasn't complete. Perhaps it never would be, but the path ahead stretched clear and inviting. The locked chest beneath floorboards had long since been emptied, its contents either integrated into daily life or discarded as no longer necessary. In its place remained something far more valuable, the certainty that came from living undivided, from walking through the world as one complete person rather than fragments hidden in shadows. The brown-haired woman in the mirror smiled back, no longer a persona or an alternative, but simply herself. Emiliana turned out the lights and stepped forward into all the tomorrows waiting to be claimed. 3 years after that transformative photo session, Emiliana's career had expanded beyond modeling into advocacy and public speaking. Her perspective as both a software developer and transgender woman provided unique insights into technology industry inclusion efforts. Conference invitations arrived regularly, requesting her expertise on panels and keynote addresses. Her apartment had been traded for a comfortable condo with views of the city skyline and a spare bedroom converted into a home office. The original framed photo maintained its place of honor, now accompanied by awards for both technical achievements and community service. The doorbell rang on a bright Saturday morning as Emiliana finished her coffee. Opening the door revealed Maria, camera bag slung over one shoulder and portfolio under her arm. "Right on time?" Emiliana greeted her with a warm hug. "Come in." "The place looks amazing," Maria commented, glancing around at the stylish decor. "Success suits you." "Speaking of which, did you bring the final selects for the book?" Maria patted her portfolio. "All here. 36 images spanning your journey, just as we discussed. The publisher loves the concept. Becoming Portraits of Transition has potential to help a lot of people." The photography book had been Maria's concept initially, a collection of subjects photographed throughout their gender transitions, creating visual narratives of authenticity and self-discovery. Emiliana's story would open the collection, beginning with that first red dress portrait. They spread the selected images across the dining table, arranging them chronologically. The brown hair appeared in every photo, evolving from the original wig to natural growth that now reached mid-back, styled in various ways, but always that same rich brown shade. "It's strange seeing it all laid out like this," Emiliana observed, touching the corner of a particularly powerful image, herself at the podium during her first technology conference as a speaker. "Like watching a flower bloom in time-lapse." "That's exactly what it is," Maria agreed. "A blossoming. You were always this person, just waiting for the right conditions to grow." The final image in the sequence had been taken just 1 month earlier. Emiliana, in profile against sunset light, laughing at something off-camera, brown hair caught by breeze, wearing a simple white dress that highlighted how comfortable she had become in her body and identity. "This one should close your section," Maria decided, placing it at the end of the sequence. "It captures everything we've been trying to show: joy, freedom, arrival." Emiliana nodded agreement, emotion tightening her throat momentarily. "The book launches in spring," Maria continued. "The publisher wants us both for a short promotional tour: New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, maybe a few other cities. Would that work with your schedule?" "I'll make it work," Emiliana replied without hesitation. "This project matters." After Maria departed with the finalized selections, Emiliana stood before the original framed portrait, studying the face that had launched this journey. The nervous hope in those eyes, the tentative posture despite the gorgeous red dress, the careful styling of the brown wig that had since been replaced by her own flowing locks, all of it representing a threshold crossed with no possibility of return. No desire for return either. The life constructed since that day contained richness and authenticity that once seemed impossible. Professional respect in 2 careers. Meaningful friendships. Even romance had entered the picture recently, with a promising relationship developing with someone who saw her completely and valued all she had become. The phone rang, interrupting her reflections. The caller ID displayed Vanessa with a photo of her friend making an exaggerated model pose. "Darling, tell me you've seen the email." Vanessa's voice bubbled through the speaker. "What email? I've been with Maria all morning working on the book." "Check your inbox immediately. Fashion Week is calling both our names. They're doing a special runway show highlighting transgender models, and we're on the short list. Milan, honey, Milan!" Excitement surged as Emiliana quickly opened her laptop to find the invitation. There it was, official correspondence from one of fashion's most prestigious events, requesting her participation in a groundbreaking show celebrating diverse beauty. "Is this real?" she asked, scanning the details with disbelief. "Very real. I already called my agent, and she confirmed. They want us both. Say yes." The opportunity represented another expansion of possibility: international recognition, elite fashion circles, platforms previously unimagined. More importantly, it offered visibility that might reach someone still hiding, still afraid, still believing false limitations. "I'm in," Emiliana confirmed, already mentally reviewing her passport status and calendar conflicts. "Absolutely in." After the call ended, she returned to the framed photo, speaking directly to the person captured there. "We've come so far, and we're just getting started." The journey from locked chest beneath floorboards to international runways spanned more distance than mere miles could measure. Each step had required courage, each milestone had opened new doors, and the path ahead promised even more evolution. The brown-haired woman in the mirror, confident, accomplished, and authentically herself, nodded in quiet acknowledgement of how far she had traveled and all the territory yet to explore. Emiliana no longer needed permission to exist. She had claimed that right with every choice to step forward rather than retreat. The red dress from that first photo shoot remained preserved in the closet, a cherished reminder of beginnings, but no longer needed for validation. The world had expanded to include infinite possibilities for expression, connection, and contribution. The woman who emerged from that session could not have imagined the life awaiting her, but had taken the crucial first step anyway. That courage had made all the difference. Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!